Hey everyone, my name is Andrew Davis, and you're watching Conversations in Pop Culture. And yes, I am scandalous like an Ashley. And I don't have any sponsors for the month of August because I was sort of lazy and I wanted a break from sponsorships. And but if everybody wants to support the show, I have a nice little eBay store that you can go to called Pop Anime Comics Collectibles, and I sell a lot of comics, cards, cool items. I'm selling hats apparently now, so that's cool. You get those, please. They're rare, they're expensive hats, so you never know what you're going to get in that box. But I digress, because enough about me and everything. But if you want to go and support what I do, just buy some cool shit from my store. But anyway, I have with me a very cool cosplayer, Paradoxx Cosplay. So welcome to the show.
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, I am excited. I am excited because you got a lot of stuff I want to talk about, and there's several cosplays I want to talk about. But there's some people who probably know who you are, and there's some people who do not. So, who are you? The quick introduction before we kind of get into a little bit of
Who
everything.
am I? My name is Jetta. I go by Paradoxx Cosplay, and I've been doing cosplay for about 16 years now. I'm based off of Puerto Rico, and now I live in Texas. So we're doing a lot of Texas cons around here and moving around the states, doing a lot of partnerships and fun stuff. So if you guys ever want to come check me out, go to Paradoxx to Exis Cosplay, and you'll see where I'm going next.
Cool. Obviously, I want to get into all this, and obviously, you've been doing this for 16 years. And so, how did you even get into cosplay? Because everybody's got a interesting
I
story,
know.
a unique story, a bad story, a disaster. I don't know, but everybody has a way they got in, for lack of a better word. So, how did you get into
Yeah.
cosplay?
It wasn't anything too crazy. I wasn't really aware of the scene at all until my best friend got me hooked in it. I used to help her a lot with after hours homeschooling and stuff like that. And she was the one that got me into the video games. She got me into playing all sorts of like role playing stuff, and she got me into cosplay. So when she first introduced it to me, I was like, "What is this? So it's just Halloween?" And she's like, "No, no, you can make your own, and you're so creative. You can make your outfits if you wanted to. You can make your wigs. You can make whatever." And me being that I'm creative and I love to do art ever since I was basically born, it automatically intrigued me. And look at me now. I love creating stuff, and that was the perfect outlet to just be able to express myself.
Let's actually talk about this a little bit, because I don't think it's a secret, and maybe it's a dirty way to say this, all things considering, and maybe it's a dirty little secret, but cosplay can be very expensive
It
in many ways,
can.
between getting materials, getting wigs, finding
Mhm.
alternatives, traveling. I don't think people
Yep.
realize if you got a big cosplay, that is complicated if you're in Texas and you want to go to
Oh,
California.
absolutely. Yeah,
So
there's a lot of little things that go into that, but I think creativity is the top thing. You can make whatever you want to make without breaking the bank if you're creative enough. Because I started doing this in my teens, and when I started doing this, I had to figure out what to make and how to make it. 'Cause I I was still in school. I had to, figure out how to, find
fun to be a
materials.
broke college kid,
How to
isn't it?
I know, and, I didn't have any funds available for me to just be like, "Ooh, I'm gonna buy this." No, I had to figure it out.
How do you think I started
But
my
it is
business?
possible.
How did you think I started my business? In which I started buying and selling comics because I had no money to buy new
Mhm.
comics and buy beer in college. And so you sell a book, you bought it for 20, you're looking for 60, it goes for 120, you're like, holy shit.
Mhm.
And do I miss the book a little bit? Sure. But in reality, it then started, and then I took a break from it for a while, and then you need some more money. Like, oh snap, I got a whole cash cow here, and then you figure it out.
Mhm.
Getting back to you with this is that, but like, what is this like? Because I do agree if you're creative enough, but also there are sometimes hard workarounds that you just can't work around. And so, like,
Mhm.
even dealing with that, because I think that's one of the biggest issues with cosplay right now, is that, yeah, but if you need a material and Like, I don't know, your Black Cat's a good example. Like, she wears a latex suit. Like, I don't know an
Mhm.
alternative for that. And if
Right.
latex is X and you want to make it, like, you're shit out of luck.
So, yeah, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a specific type of material. You could always use any type of material. Like I learned how to sew at a very young age, so I would use whatever fabric I had available. I wasn't picky about what I needed to use, and I mean, you do learn what fabrics look a certain way, what fabrics feel better, what fabrics are more stretchy, what fabrics breathe better. So you also have to create a balance between how much you're willing to spend, how much comfort you want when wearing the outfit, and then how hot you want to be, how you know what I mean? So there's so many things that go into the thought process and the planning of building a cosplay.
Let me ask you this because I'm not a cosplayer.
Mhm.
Yeah, I cosplayed for like 3 times, and then the rest of that it wasn't for me. Um, yeah, I enjoy panels. I enjoy speaking. I enjoy a lot of other things at conventions. I enjoy watching cosplay, but I have noticed that a shift has occurred in cosplay, and I'm curious how you feel about it. Is that it used to be that it was straight out traditional, that you gotta look like the character, you gotta
Mhm.
dress like the character, you can't modify the character. And now we're starting to see a lot more mashups. We're starting to see a lot more also people picking what you said, comfortability, I guess
Yeah.
is maybe it's not a word, but it gets the point across. And so what has that been like? Because that is a shift. And
Uh, I think in a way it's a good thing. I mean, if you're not going to a straight up competition that's super critical about what you're making and you're doing cosplay for fun, why would you stress yourself about looking a specific way or having a specific body type or being male versus female? Like you could just have fun with the character and you can just become whoever you want to become. So that's the whole point of the cosplay. You can't have cosplay without the play factor in it, right? So it's all supposed to be fun in the end. And I think people are really letting go of that stress of, oh my God, I have to look exactly like this or I won't do it. And actually enjoying the process more. So I think it's a good thing when it comes to that.
yeah, no, I don't disagree. I just feel that, and this is just my opinion and what I've seen, is that I do think that's coming back, but I do think for a while that has been suppressed. I really do.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
don't know if it's conventions who have caused it. I don't know if it's certain cosplayers. I don't know if there was other pressures that I can't
Yeah.
exactly identify, but I do know that that was there, and that I
Mhm.
do think it is slightly coming back and swinging the other way. And
Yeah.
maybe I don't remember, and then I haven't been to a con, and I'm not as immersed as I once was a few years ago. But I don't really. I remember now, and then obviously speaking to a lot of newer cosplayers and people who have like 1,000 followers on Instagram. They
Mhm.
want to have fun with it, and also speaking to the crowd that's over 40, they want to have fun. But then there's that professional cosplay group, and I don't know if the pressure came from them or it's a mixture of a bunch of stuff. And I don't want to like out people or out a whole
Mhm.
position, but I definitely feel that this is a shift. It is not something that was there 5 years ago. And when I was
Mhm.
in, college, it was you had to look like the character. And if the character has a six pack, you better have a six pack. It was definitely
Mhm.
so I
Yeah.
find it interesting. And again, I'm not the expert on it. So but
Yeah,
I
I think people all have different opinions when it comes to that, but like I said, I think it really shouldn't really be that stressful unless you're actually going on a straight up like big time contest and you know that they're going to be judging you for certain things and it still shouldn't be a body image thing. It should be more like your techniques that you used to build it, what materials you used to build it, how accurate are you to the character you're trying to portray, those type of things. But if you're just going to go enjoy the con, I don't see why people should be stressing so much about their costumes.
Oh, no, I don't disagree. But enough about that, because I don't want to get us in too much trouble. But I want to talk about a bunch of your cosplays because you've done a bunch of stuff, and you've done a
Mhm.
bunch of stuff in anime, you've done a bunch of stuff in comics, you've done a bunch of stuff in video game work, and
Mhm.
some of the anime stuff. And obviously, there's a few that I picked that I enjoy, and the one that I think we should start with is Bulma.
Ooh, yes. I love Bulma.
So what's the story with this one? Because this is, I think, from Dragon Ball. It's not from Dragon Ball Z.
Yes. Yes, it's
And
from Dragon Ball.
what's the story behind this? Because everybody knows Bulma, everybody likes Bulma to some degree,
Mhm.
and this is, I wouldn't say this is old school anime, but it's also not new anime either.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
a
in there. It's my growing up anime. I, um, I always wanted to do Bulma, and that day, I remember that was the first time I wore that outfit. I was a little self-conscious. I cut the wig myself that same morning, and it was like 40 degrees outside. So I froze my little butt off for those pictures. But I always wanted to do it, so it was so worth it. I actually I got everything basically modified so it fit me the way I wanted. And then the corset, I literally just bought off Amazon and slapped it on. But it was really simple. It was a character I loved, and I'm really happy with the pictures and how they came out. So
so so
that
so
was exciting for me.
so let's actually talk about this because this is interesting about cosplay as well. And there's also a debate going on with this too, is that building a cosplay or putting it together.
Right.
And, you know, I don't really, I mean, I personally don't care
Mhm.
because if you're shooting photos, it's kinda like this interview. I have questions in front of me, but I'm still doing the interview, right? Like, it's kinda like a take-home test, right? You know, you
Yeah,
have all the information in front of you, but you still gotta present the information. And so
absolutely.
what is that like? Because I think criticizing somebody who either buys a cosplay or buy parts or commissions it versus seeing somebody who made it themselves, if you're not competing, I think that it's kind of, a moot point. And I
Mhm.
don't get why there's this class
Absolutely.
surrounding it. I
Yeah.
don't get it. And it bothers me because I think it's a skill to be able to say,
Yes.
I know my measurements and I know that I need this piece over here and I need
Mhm.
this. And I know that if I order part A from person A, they're good at building this, and person B is good at building part B, and I can put it together. I think that's a skill in of its own.
Right, no, I don't see any issue with that either. Again, if it's something that is gonna be judged, that's a completely different story because then you're trying to see the person's ability to make something and create it from scratch. But if you're just gonna have fun and you know your size and you know what fits and you want it to come in quick and you want your stuff to look on point, I mean, there's nothing wrong with doing that. Because again, some people don't know how to sew. So I mean that's a learning skill that you can build up along the way. But if you don't have that skill yet, you're left with different choices. And why would anybody give anybody else issues for that? So I don't think like you said, I think it's a moot point because at the end of the day, everybody's trying to have fun and not bring each other's down.
No, no, again, I don't disagree, but even to go further into that, but like when you're building it and you're piecing it together, because I'm curious about this, is that how do you even know how to do that? Because as I was stating, that's kind of a skill too, where when you're putting parts together to create a
Mhm.
sum, that's a massive skill set. I mean, if you know, or person A knows they suck at building a wig, there are people
Right.
in the cosplay community who are arguably the
Mhm.
best at building or style wigs. And so, like, understanding what you need for this and what you need for that, and even with Roma, and then there's a few others that I think you piece together too. We're gonna
Right.
get to your Frost, I think, is another good one. Using this is where you pieced it together. Like, what is that like? Because as I was stating, I think that's a massive skill. Say,
I
I
mean,
know
that's
every piece I need.
yeah, there's a whole pre-planning stage to all this. So you basically come to the drawing board and you go like, okay, I want my character to look this way. And if you are looking for certain items, let's say, for example, for Bulma, if you get a bunny suit, but the bunny suit does not fit a certain way, and you just wants it to be cinched in, like the one I have, I got the corset with the bunny suit because I wanted a certain look to it. And then I got the bow and the cuffs. Everything was one piece, but the bow that came with the cuffs, it wasn't the bow I liked. So I got a separate bow to add on to that. So it's a lot of trial and error sometimes. Same things for the stockings. I wanted the stockings to be blue, not see-through like some other stockings are. So I went through like three different stockings to buy the ones that I actually wanted the look to be like, which is that really high contrast blue. So it's sometimes a trial and error thing. It's not so much, oh, I know exactly what I need. Like sometimes you have to go and try out a different thing and see what works best for your image in your in your head of what you're trying to do for cosplay.
So interesting. And then to even talking about another one, because sticking with
Mhm.
corsets, I mean, zero two.
Mhm. Yeah, I really love that one. I What I liked the most about it was the glossy fabric. I had to get a specific bow with that type of fabric so it matched the suit, and I had to buy the ears with that same type of glossy fabric because I felt like it would look off if I got it with a duller fabric or if they were fluffy, it wouldn't fit as well. But for that bunny suit, I bought a regular suit, a regular one piece, and I added the bunny tail myself. I just hand sewed it in, and it was the most adorable thing ever because it was like perfectly where I wanted it. Um, but things like that, it's really fun. The wig, I cut the bangs myself, but that's something I've been building up as I've grown because I used to do my own hair myself. So I just cut my own bangs. I always did that growing up. So I do the same thing with the wigs and it's been fun. It's been a fun learning experience. Not many people can say that they butchered their own hair, building a skill like that. So
And then obviously, I mean, we were speaking about Pokemon before. I love Pokemon.
Mhm.
You've done some Pokemon stuff, and you've done a bunch of Pokemon stuff. So I think this is one of yours.
Yes, it's actually me and my mom. So that Bulbasaur, I made that one from scratch, completely all sewed together. I did different pieces, and I wanted the skirt to be puffy, so I have an underskirt that's full of tulle, and it just makes it fluffy like that. And then I have more tulle on top to give it that see-through blue look. Because if you could see, the fabric that I have on my arm is the fabric that I use for the dress. But the dress looks somewhat a little bit more blue, and that's because of that tulle fabric that I put on top. I styled the wig. I did the hip band. I did it with a lot of regular. Just I bought a whole pack of like fake plants and real rosebuds and all the cute stuff that you see sometimes at Michael's. And I just styled it how I wanted it. I just got a really thick headband and I just started super gluing everything up to it. I added moss so it looked all cute, and I did the same thing for the corset. I added all the moss, and the bulb in the back was made from scratch as well. It's actually being attached by a giant clip that I slid into my corset in the back. So it's a giant clip like this big, and it just goes in my corset, and the bulb just stays there. And out of the bulbs, I have these wires that come all the way to the front, and they're posable. So I can mold them however I want, and they'll stay for the pictures. And they're pretty cool because 'cause I'll walk around and you see the little arms going like this, the whole whips. It was a great build. It's one of my favorite builds that I've made so far.
And then even sticking with Pokemon, because obviously you've done this one too.
Absolutely. I actually did one from scratch as well. The fabric that I used for the boots and the dress, I made everything from 0. And I have the full process of how I made that too. I actually had a friend wrap me up and saran wrap and duct tape, and then she drew the dress on me, and I used that as an actual template to pass it onto the fabric and sew it all together, and it fit like a glove. It was beautiful.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's a wild, wild outing. And commitment right there, everybody. That's commitment.
Oh,
And
it's
then
absolutely fun.
this is also interesting because this was a picture
Mhm.
of Sophia Savant or Savin, or
Mhm.
I don't know how to say her.
Savon, yeah.
So what's the story behind that? Because, you know, obviously you're Misty, she's
Yes.
Pikachu or Pichu.
Yes.
It can go either way. It can go
Pikachu,
either way.
yeah.
But what's the story with this shot? Because
So for that shot, that's actually the same suit that my mom was wearing on the previous pictures. I styled the wig. The ponytail is detachable, so I can pull it out if I want to. It's pretty cool. Um, but we were both guests for Pokemon PokeFest SA here in San Antonio. And that was one of the shots that they took of us together. But she was literally on the booth next to mine, and we all got together and got organized and made sure to come in with outfits that match the same theme. So she said, "I'll bring my Pikachu," and I was like, "Okay, I'll be Misty." And we showed up, and everybody was having so much fun that day. They all wanted pictures with us, and we had a blast.
let's even talk about that a little bit too, because obviously, she has a big following on Instagram and on social
Mhm.
media. And then you throw a picture like that up, and naturally it's going to get traffic and traction and a bunch of other things to
Yeah.
you. And so, what is that like? Because I think that's the other thing that people sometimes don't get about cosplay is
Mhm.
that if you do certain cosplays or you take certain pictures, it's obviously going to draw attention and either money to you, deals, publicity, clout, whatever you want to call it. But because obviously that's a very important
Mhm.
driving photo, for lack of a better word. So what is that like for you? Because I think that's the business side that people don't really get into.
I mean, it's always good to surround yourself with people that have a presence if you want to showcase your stuff and if you want others to see it. I think that's something that could be achievable on your own, but it always helps whenever you have people helping each other. Um, I know people sometimes are really um they can be really, how do you say that? They could guard themselves a little bit from the wrong type of publicity. So you don't want to, um, of course, associate yourself with people that have either drama or that have stuff going on that might not be the best thing that you want associated with your name. But if people are having fun in an event and you guys know each other and you both have a following or one has more following than the other, I mean that's just at the end it's social media. It's not really uh, uh, it's not a visual of what your skill is. So social media can be a helpful tool when it comes to pushing out your business and doing stuff like that. But once you get to know the people and you can see what their passion is and what their skill sets are, I think that's when you really see the interest in part of the person. So, I mean, I feel like some people that do amazing stuff don't have the following that I wish they had. And it's like they're kind of like a secret gem that's just hiding there somewhere on social media. And it's just a matter of the right person finding them because they are so talented and I would love to see them be out there and be seen because they're that awesome. But it's definitely something that you have to invest a lot of time on. So things like this, like just as simple as a photo with somebody that has a following that it's already focused on the type of stuff you like to do, like cosplay, photography, modeling, whatever your skill set and your focus is. It really pushes you in the right direction to the right people seeing you. That way, you could get more opportunities and you could get your business out there and seen by the right people.
No, see, I find it interesting, right? Because I have a very different opinion where I think that it's 20% of cosplay
Hmm.
and it's 80%
Hmm.
of social media. And
Yeah.
it's the same thing with everything, and even in comics and interviewing, and unless you have a different strategy, but I've taken the long road around because I do
Hmm.
think content is king, and I do think you need substance. but I know plenty of people who are flash in the pan, and then they're, well received, but then they burn out in 6 months. And I've seen
Right.
that with a lot of people. And so I just find it interesting because I also know a lot of people get a lot of attention really quickly. And it's just like,
Mhm.
they just have
Well,
a
social
viral video.
media is such a fickle thing too, because well, you can invest a lot of time into building up your social media, and then next thing you know, the smallest thing could shut it down. Like I've lost several pages ever since doing cosplay, and sometimes it could be so frustrating because let's say you have an account with like I don't know 30 something K followers, right? And that account gets shut down and you can't get it back and you have to start from 0 again. Like, that kills your entire,
I
like,
mean, this isn't
motivation for
a
that.
joke. I mean,
That
it's
yeah.
really interesting, right? Because once you start doing certain things and you
Mhm.
become big enough, you have a target on your back. People want to hurt you. People want to take away your business. People want to do bad things to you, and then all of a sudden you do the wrong thing. You put the wrong
Mhm.
photo up, and then bam, you're done. It's like you don't own your social media. I mean,
Mhm.
right now on YouTube, I have a warning, so I have to behave on YouTube,
I
and
have several warnings. Hmm.
so that's not expiring until, like, October 17th, so I have to behave, relatively behave, and I'm like, "Well, I didn't do anything that you said I did," and there you go. It's like,
I
it's very upsetting. It's very upsetting, is the point, but yeah, no, it's again, I think social media, I think it's like at least 80% social media. And it's also what you post. I mean, because
Mhm.
I can put a top cosplayer against somebody who has 1,200 followers on Instagram, and I think the person who
Mhm.
has 1,200 followers on Instagram is just as good, if not better, than the person who has 600,000. And I don't think, as far as craftsmanship, as far as ideas, it just so happens that the person who has 1,200 followers is a guy, and
Mhm.
the girl has 600,000. And it sounds messed up, but it's
Mhm.
definitely, it's what you're cosplaying, it's what you're putting out, the content you're putting out, and it that
Right.
dictates. I mean, that absolutely dictates. If you're doing
Yeah.
some weird, obscure cosplay, you're not gonna get the same
I
view as.
know, it's like right now you have Deadpool and Wolverine, and people cosplaying Deadpool and Wolverine are the first thing you're getting on social media. So, I know people do like to ride those hype trains whenever stuff like that is the thing that's in. And that helps a lot with that. But again, that goes into what you're trying to do. If you're trying to grow your social media, there's so many different ways you could go about it. Whether that be collaborations or just appealing to what's happening right now. And some people get really lucky. Some people do something, and next thing you know, something blows up. And the cosplay that they're wearing is the next hot topic. So it's you never know. You never know. It's fun.
No, no, no. I definitely feel that. And then speaking about fun cosplays that you've done, I definitely want to talk about this one because this is one of my favorites you've done.
Ooh, yes. Naruto.
And it's this
Actually,
version too.
yeah, so the cloud version, that was
Yeah.
it was somewhat of a collaboration. So I had a friend that wanted to do it and we got together and started making it together. Um for the clouds, we just wore some skin colored shorts and a skin colored um one of those bras without the straps, the strapless. And then we attached all of it with some wires so it looked like it kind of floated out of your body. And it was an extensive process. It was really simple. It was just time consuming. And it was great. We even had some little sandals that we put little clouds on. It was lovely. But it looked great. It looked amazing. The only bad thing is that it gets all over your hair. So, every time we take off the wig after that, it's just chunks of padding in your hair, so you gotta pick it out at the end. but it's fun. It's fun to wear. It looks great.
So what's the response? Because everybody loves the sexy jutsu that Naruto does. It's funny, it's
It's
comedy.
great. Everybody loves it. They want pictures every time. Every time. But yeah, if you watch the anime, you know it's him being silly, him being a boy. So it's hilarious. I love it.
And then obviously you've done some other stuff with Naruto too. You did this one, which is always cool.
Yes, I tried to do like a I guess like a risque version of Sakura, but I mean at the end of the day she's still a badass. So you can't I don't know, I just can't picture grown up Sakura being all like girly, like, oh, you know, so even though I put on the outfit, I still felt like she would be like a powerful stance. I liked it.
And then this one too is interesting.
Yes, Kurenai. I actually did that one recently, not even 2 years ago. I really like her character.
And so what is this like to play Naruto? Because Naruto's like Pokemon, where everybody
Mhm.
knows the characters, everybody's still it's still relevant. Boruto is still around,
Yeah.
and I'm sure at some point they're gonna do something else. They're doing Teenage
Mhm.
Mutant Ninja Turtles Naruto now too, which is gonna be
Oh, did you
fascinating.
see that? I didn't think that was a thing. I didn't think that was real. And then I was like, "Oh my god, it's confirmed." I can't
He's
wait to
so
see that. I can't
it's
wait
gonna
to see it 'cause I don't know
be
what to expect at this point. They're all hilarious.
yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with it. It's
I mean, you're gonna
mind-boggling.
see Naruto eating pizza.
You're gonna see that. So think about this, right? We're we're
Huh.
we're we're getting Naruto and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're getting Sonic
Mhm.
the Hedgehog, the 3rd movie in December, which is
Mhm.
Shadow, voiced by Keanu Reeves.
Mm.
Okay?
Can't
And then
wait.
we're getting and then we're getting Shrek 5.
Isn't Toy Story coming up too?
I don't know, Toy Story hasn't been confirmed, but we're getting Shrek 5. It's like
Ugh.
the weirdest time. It's like the
I
epitome.
know. Everything is coming back. It's like all my childhood stuff is coming back. I love it.
So I don't really know. I don't really know what to think of it. I'm gonna be picking it up and reading it. I'm excited, but like
Mhm.
I don't really know what to think of this because it's kind of like what how am I supposed to react? Is my question
I
to
know, it's like,
you. Is that
I don't know. I wanna see. I wanna see.
I'm okay reacting to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. That's not the shocker.
Mhm.
Keanu Reeves voicing Shadow is the shocking component. But
I would love to see that. I
I
wanna
mean I
see
mean,
that.
it's December 20th. It's coming. Um, but I don't know what to think of Shrek 5 and Naruto and Teenage Mutant Ninja.
What are you
It's
gonna do?
mind-boggling.
What could you possibly do for Shrek 5?
I don't know. Shrek 1 was that. Then Shrek 2 was him being a human and then
Huh?
marrying. Shrek 3 was what?
Oh my god, what was Shrek 3? 'Cause they stopped they wait. Shrek 3 wasn't the 3 ones with the kids?
Oh, I don't know. And then
Yes, yes, the 3rd one, they ended up with the kids, and then the 5th one is the one that he had to go back, and everybody forgot who he was, and he had to win over Fiona again. Wow.
I don't know. I don't even.
What do you do for 5?
I don't know. I don't know what you do for 5. It's gonna be so interesting what they do. It's gonna be so interesting what they do, but who knows? I mean, I'm not concerned. But it's still shocking. But I'm excited. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to say the least. So I don't know. But speaking about good animes and all that stuff, we obviously have this one too that I want to talk about, and this is Misa.
Yes, that was very recent, actually. The main reason why I did Misa was because my good friend Cassie, she was building an entire like female version of Rio, and she did the wings. She even pulled on the wires, and the wings came out. and she does SFX makeup. So she looked insane. And I just had to. She was like, "Are we gonna do a Death Note team?" And I was like, "Let's do it." So I put it all together. We showed up to the event, and we were all guesting this event. It was for NostalgiaCon, and it was great. We had a blast.
So what is that like to do Death Note too? Because Death Note is still relevant in many ways.
Mhm.
And so what was that like? Because obviously you're at
Well,
nostalgia.
a lot of people well, we had the voice actors there for that show, which is the main reason why we did the theme, so that way everybody could come in, take pictures with us, take pictures with the, voice actors, and everybody was having a blast because it was, like, everything main hub for Death Note. Um, it was actually a lot of, nostalgic, shows, and a lot of the voice actors were geared towards a lot of our childhood stuff. Cartoon Network, anime, Naruto, mainly Dragon Ball Z and Death Note. So the lineup was great. We had the entire cast almost for Pokemon. It was insane. It was insane to say the least. Yu-Gi-Oh! Yeah, so people brought all of the outfits to match the theme that we were going for, which was nostalgia.
So since you brought it up, I mean, what is it like though to be guesting? Because obviously I've never been a guest at a con. I,
Mhm.
I, I used to do fan panels because they gave me a free ticket to speak for like an hour. And when you're a broke college kid, or tickets are like 60, 70 bucks, it's a lot of money. It's
You're
a
like,
lot of
"I'll
money.
take it."
So, I'll speak about a topic I want to talk about, and then I have a 3-day pass. It's wonderful.
Mm.
Especially when you live locally. It's nice. So you don't have to stay in a hotel. 70 bucks, 80 bucks, 90 bucks goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
But what is it like guessing? Because I've never had that experience, and I don't know what it's like to be on the other side of the table,
Yeah.
and what it looks like for you and being around, I guess all that stuff, and even I don't know how long you've been doing it, but even how it has changed because
Yeah, it's
I
absolutely
think things
changed.
have changed, right? I mean, correct me if I'm
Yeah.
wrong.
It's changed a lot. So mainly it depends on the event, the type of the type of crowd that you're gonna get. So some events are more family friendly, some events are more like geared towards adults. But so when you have a booth, you can sell your merchandise. You get people to come over and they do meets and greets, especially people that have been following you on social media and never had the chance to meet you in person. That's their chance to come say hi, take pictures, just talk for a minute. You see the support, and it's a great experience every time. I absolutely love just getting to know everybody and seeing who's out there, just seeing all the content that I'm putting out, and usually they tell you the best stories. Um, you get to interact with the voice actors, with other guests, the celebrity panels, and you get to build the relationships with the people that do the cons. So everybody behind the scenes that makes the show run, you get to interact with them and meet them and see what their goals are for future conventions. And those relationships are the ones that get you to come back and do it often and keep building on your own thing, your business. Because at the end of the day, it's all a partnership. At the end of the day. Mhm.
No, because again, I've never guessed it. I've never been part of that crowd, and all I know is that I've spoken to a few people who have done it, and my take is that there was guesting before COVID, there's guesting during COVID, and then now there's new guesting, and
Even though that during COVID was basically all remote, basically like what we're doing right now. You were remote, and I actually did a guest remote in for a convention in Nairobi, Kenya, which is in the middle of Africa. It was great. That was awesome. I
what
never
was
thought I would
that
have.
like? Explain that to me. Like, what was that like?
So it was a little different because it was like the panel was pre-recorded, so it was shown out there afterwards, and they just saw everything that you answered as far as the questions that they already had for you. and they get to see your profile, your little bio, and all these people end up reaching out to you later, like, "Oh my God, I loved your story," or "Oh, this is awesome," or I can, I feel a certain kind of way, and I can feel that we would be friends if we would get to meet each other and live closer. So it's sweet to get those type of interactions back, and I loved it.
That's just wild that it's, like, pre-recorded and
Hmm.
then you're, like, there,
I
but you're not there. Oh,
know.
that's it's kinda
I know. So I was still watching everything from afar, but again, it was in the middle of COVID, so people weren't going to a lot of places, and it was a different experience. It was
that's
fun though.
trippy. It's so
Yeah.
trip
But I
that's
remember before COVID, conventions and stuff like that weren't as popular. So I could tell somebody I was a cosplayer and they'd be like, "What's that?" You know? I feel like nowadays is a little more mainstream. People are more familiar, especially with big names like Marvel, DC, and anime. It's something that almost everybody knows about nowadays. So it's definitely been growing, and it's more of a, I guess, more mainstream thing. You don't you did not see that before. So before us guesting in a convention, it was like we love it, like we appreciate it, but it was like nobody else really knew what that really meant. And now
ah,
it's out there, and social media has helped a lot with showing our side and seeing how fun conventions could be. Before, you would tell somebody about a convention or an anime show and they'd be like, nerd, you know. Now we tell them about an anime convention. Oh, there's gonna be all sorts of superheroes and whatever. What's the first thing you hear? Oh yeah, I've seen how fun those are. I've seen videos on social media. I've seen this. I've seen that. The interactions are awesome. You get to meet celebrities, and now they understand a little bit more of what happens at cons, and it makes people want to go there. And so now there's cons almost every month. So it's really grown.
nah, that's crazy, but you mentioned some Marvel stuff, so I wanna show some of that.
Hmm.
You've done the Black Cat, you've done
Yes.
Mary Jane, I think you
Hmm.
did She Carnage. This
Yeah, that Carnage was fun. I bought a suit with just red design on it, and it had some black shading, but all of that texture in the holes, I cut the holes myself on them, and the texture was all hot glue. This is the time that I found out that hot glue comes in all colors. So hot glue came uh, on black, on red, on blue, on green, on everything. So I bought tons of packs of red and black hot glue, and I just caked up the dress, and everything was all hardened up by the time I wear it. But the entire face piece, I made it little by little with pieces of hot glue, and then I put it all together so it fit me. Um, it was fun. It was fun. It was a whole experience, but you could literally make anything out of hot glue. So it's insane. It blew my mind. But yeah,
learn something
I
every
like
day.
I like a
Something
lot
every
of those characters. Yeah.
and then, I mean, obviously, the Emma Frost we kinda touched upon,
Yes,
where
I
this is
love it.
just in many ways.
Yes.
And then obviously there's some DC stuff I want to touch upon also. So you've obviously done Catwoman, and then
I
you did this
know.
version of Catwoman too.
Mhm.
So what's the story behind Catwoman? Because that's another one you're known for.
Yeah, I love I mean, who doesn't love Catwoman, right? She's basically the femme fatale of DC. Everybody knows her. She's, always hanging around Batman and just being cute and sexy and a badass. Um, so I did her classic version the first time, and the reason why I did the Michelle Pfeiffer version was because something that's really big here in San Antonio is the Tim Burton Ball. So for the Tim Burton Ball, um, I always wanted to be a part of it, and I made the actual outfit for Michelle Pfeiffer, and it took forever, especially with the little nail pieces. I made those by hand, each one. So it was insane because I would look at photos from the movie and try to get them to like look exactly the same. I had to find the exact same nails, same size, same thinness, and I I finally got them to where I like them. And once I finished, I have a friend that he's a really well known Penguin from the Batman movie, and both of us got invited to the Burton Ball several years in a row too. So it was just amazing, and I did it first to just be part of the ball and just go enjoy it. But then they ended up inviting us and having us be part of the show to bring people in. It was really sweet.
That's wild. That is,
Mhm.
but it must be so much fun too, though, because it's like you're Catwoman, and obviously, if you get invited,
Mhm.
you're doing something right.
Oh yeah.
No, but yeah, no, that's fun. That's cool. And then obviously we have to talk about Poison Ivy because
Yes, that's one of
I
my
think this is
favorites.
also Poison Ivy too, right?
Yes, different versions, yeah.
So yeah, so what's the story between those two versions too? Because you can't have Catwoman without Poison Ivy.
Yes. So that first version is more classic. I was actually 7 months pregnant in that picture, you can't even tell. But, I actually you're gonna laugh because this outfit was so simple. I bought a one-piece bathing suit for comfort, and then I just slapped leaves all over it. It was great. I actually went into one of the Michaels stores to get the leaves, and when I went to get the leaves, I saw that they were selling that giant, rose, and it was just for them for decor, and the the way it looked and how perfectly it matched everything that I was buying to make the suit, it was no-brainer. I just bought it, I took it, and it's been my prop ever since for that type, of outfit, and it was great. Now the second version, I did that as a collaboration with one of my friends that she does, body painting, Mariana. So Ms. Mariana, she spent a good 8 hours painting me and putting all of the details. It was insane. The shoot itself took maybe 30 minutes to an hour, but the prep took like 8 hours. The top, I made it from scratch. I even added all the buttons by hand, and then the the panty version, I did that myself too from scratch. Um, the wig, I put 2 wigs together to get that, like, dark look with the red, and, I loved the way it turned out a lot. Like, I was really inspired by the Arkham, Knight video game, so it was a really high up there goal for me to do that version.
No, that's crazy. So 8 hours of painting.
Yes, 8 hours, like, my feet were asleep by the time we were done. I was like, can I sit now?" Mm,
That is wild. That is just wild. And then
yeah.
oh man, that's crazy. And then to talk about another iconic one of your cosplays is Chun-Li.
Yes, that was actually my first cosplay.
And then you did this version.
Yes, that one I loved that too. I did that for the first time about 3 years ago. The alpha is the one that I cannot wait to do. So that
And
will
then
be my 3rd version of
there's this
Chun-Li.
shot too.
I know, I love it.
So what
And
what
that's
what
what I
was
mean when I mean collaborations. These are the type of collaborations that are fun. They're amazing, and it's mind blowing to me to get to collaborate with people that want to do it and are into the actual game, and they want to have fun with you, have these pictures, and next thing you know, we're just jumping around like little kids, like, oh my god, this came out awesome. It's a whole vibe. I really like it.
it's wild. Just wild. And it's cool though. I mean, it's amazing. And then also another one because I have a good friend DJ Croft who does some Tomb
Yes,
Raider, and I love DJ, and
I
you're
love
a Tomb
DJ.
Raider.
Yes, that's another one. I really want to redo this one. I actually wanted to do Tomb Raider, but the old school version with a really blocky chest. That might be my next one coming up. Absolutely. I just
And
love how
then
you can like build up the fun factor into the cosplays. It's awesome.
so many things I could say. But then you also have done some Scooby Doo stuff. And then
Yes!
there's
Oh, yeah.
this, there's
Mhm.
that, and then you've also
Yep.
done this with, Maddie Mason, I think, has been involved in
Yes.
some of
Oh,
this as well.
absolutely. We do it all the time, and my baby actually comes out dressed like Scrappy, so it's the best thing ever.
Oh my god, so many things I could say, so many things I could say.
Oh, Scrappy baby. I love it.
But what is that like too to do though? Because obviously also has a following, and so when
Mhm.
you collaborate, obviously that just further amplifies
Yeah.
what is seen, who you're seeing
It's
with
it's so
from.
much fun. Maddie is a really good friend of mine, so when we do it, we're having a blast every time. The extra views and the collaborate the well the result from the collaboration is it's just an extra factor, and I mean I'm grateful for it. But I just love hanging out with her. It's so great. Every time we go to a con, we're just having fun, dancing, having a blast, trying to do videos. So it's uh it's more so for the dynamic. It's great.
No, no, no. I mean, I love it. I love it, and
Yeah.
obviously, going through your Instagram because I went through your whole Instagram. I see it all,
You did
and so
homework?
I do my homework. I do my homework, on TV. I know everything. I know everything, and
Every little
absolutely.
thing.
So, yeah. So there's so many things I could say. So many things I could say, about that. I'm just gonna just hold my tongue because I'm a professional. Um,
'Cause I'm a
for
professional. Mm,
but I do want to talk about two more, and one of them
2 more.
is appropriate, this one right here, and
Yes.
I love Wednesday Adams.
Me
You
too.
know, would you like to buy some lemonade? Would you like to buy some Girl Scout cookies? Are they made with real Girl Scouts?
I when I did this, I wanted to do Wednesday, but I wanted to do like a more grown up version of her. And I really didn't want to change much. So the obvious choice was to slap on a corset and get longer hair. And I think it was the perfect touch. Add the stockings and it was perfect. I really liked it.
No, I love Wednesday Adams. I love Wednesday Adams, and I just love Wednesday Adams for so many reasons. And Christina Ricci is just so good,
Mhm.
just so good. Um, but I digress. I don't want to go into a whole tirade about Wednesday Adams. But do I do want to talk about this one though because this one's the most interesting, I think.
Yes. Red Panda Girl, Russell John.
So, what's the story behind this? Because my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that was this at EchiCon or
Yes.
IchiCon? Or
Well, Etchy Fiesta.
so what's the story behind that? Because you were sort of the mascot for that company.
Yes. So, Red Panda Novelties is the company that I work for, and they made me their mascot. So, they're an adult store, and whenever HE conventions come around, they get invited as well to basically be the face of the HE scene in Texas so far. So there's been several collaborations. We've done a lot of stuff, and it's only starting basically, but it's great. Like this time we were in the badge faces, we were all over the place just taking over, and everybody was looking for the red panda. So that's awesome, and we want to have more people join in and do that stuff too. I think it'd be great.
So,
But
what is this like? Because obviously, you're not going to bring this to, Texas Con, for lack of a
mhm,
better word. That is a family friendly event.
yes,
But, obviously they sell anime adult items. I think
yes.
it's a way to put it nicely. Uh, I
So this
perfect.
is definitely more geared towards the adult community. So it'll be the 18 and up, 21 and up conventions. Um, But
Because
we have
this
done
is
other conventions, though. The only difference is that when we have our booth, we have to block it off and make sure nobody can go in unless they're carded to our area. Um, it's a different dynamic, but it's a lot more freeing when you're in a convention that allows
so
for
let's
everything.
talk about that a little bit
Mhm,
too, because obviously I interview a variety of guests, everybody from just a simple voice actor, all the way up to adult entertainers, for lack of a better word.
mhm,
And I enjoy doing interviews where I have carte blanche, but I also know that I'm on YouTube, I'm on Facebook, and I can and can't do certain things. YouTube is not
yeah,
a fan of certain links. eBay, I run an eBay business. I don't sell topless books in my eBay store, not because
mhm,
I have a problem with topless books, but because eBay pings me and that's $1,200 to $1,500 a week gone.
hmm,
It's expensive. It's expensive when you're a relatively small business. $1,500 is the difference between not necessarily eating because it's a side hustle, but having a profitable month or not.
mhm,
So what is that like though? Because the con culture is probably very different when it's an
yeah,
18 plus con or a 21 plus con versus a family-friendly con,
mhm.
and also, I don't know, like, you tell me, because I have never been to an 18 plus con.
So it's a different dynamic. Like I said, everybody for the 18 and up, 21 and up club cons, everybody gets carded at the door. But everything that happens in there, like of course, there's no cameras allowed, there's no videos allowed unless they're media sponsored by the event. And it's nice. I actually had a really great experience during those conventions because people know what to expect. So they come with an open mind already. Nobody's judging anybody and they're just coming in to have fun. Um for as far as the difference, when you go to regular cons, you just you have fun just like you normally do. The only difference that we have in the 18 and up conventions is that, the merchandise is different.
Do
um
you also feel let me ask this because
mhm,
so obviously I run a wrestling show. I
mhm.
can openly state my opinion on wrestling on my and my co-host show in a way because it's my house, my rules, right? So, do you feel that in an 18 plus position, people are also less tense because there's no cameras? And I hate to say
Yeah.
this, I'll throw it out the nicest way I can put it out is that people are secretive about certain things in life.
Mhm.
And if there's no cameras and there's nothing of that, and even media taking there probably have an idea of what to do and what not to do and what to
Right.
poke and not poke. So because so if there's a book, even if it's an okay book, like my friends write a book called Boobs, right?
Mhm.
And certain people don't want to buy that book because it's an embarrassing thing to buy a little bit, right? You
Right. Over there's more freeing, so people have the ability to just do whatever and they don't have fear of judgment or anything because everybody's there for the same thing. They're just there to have fun. Even if it's to laugh and giggle, they know what to expect. So it's not like you go there and you get surprised like, "Oh my God, what is this?" It's really
you don't
fun.
accidentally wander in.
Exactly, exactly. So, I think that that makes a big difference, especially with the advertisement. But I like it. I actually enjoyed it, and my experience there was great. I felt more comfortable in a way in that con than on a regular family-friendly con, if that makes sense.
So weird. It's like yeah, I
I
mean
know, and I don't know how to explain it unless you experience it. Like, if you go there, you're gonna see exactly what I mean. Everybody's just having fun. They're not feeling a certain way about themselves. They wear what they wanna wear. They go, they say what they wanna say. Of course, as long as it's respectful and everything is being done, in a good way. Uh, it's fun. It's fun, and people get involved with the panels, they get involved with the stage, and it's really interactive. But it's great.
again, I'm so boring. I'm so boring.
He said
Like
I'm so boring.
It's like I'm so boring, I'm so predictable, I'm so just, like, calm, and I'm just like, "Okay, yeah, nice and simple,
Mm,
keep me, and, like,
man, wham.
you know, I'll go to a con, right? A regular con, and if I'm out of town or I have a hotel, let's say it's local, I'll go, and then I'll come back home, and I'll legitimately just, like, grab, like, a Subway sandwich on the way back home, and then, like, I just go sleep in my bed, and I'll watch some anime. Like, even when I was going constant traveling, when I go to DC or Boston or something, like, I would go and I would be, like, in my hotel room at, like, 9 o'clock, like, reading a book, and then I'd be, like, sleeping, and I'd be, like, waking up at, like, 8 in the morning, all refreshed, and be like, "I went out partying and clothing list." I'm like, "I went to bed at 9 o'clock, man." Like, I'm, like, 19. Like, so, like, that's my point, is that I understand. Like, I'm so predictable and I'm so boring. Like, I wouldn't last 10 minutes like, an over
That's
18.
me though. That's me. I'm pretty boring. I feel like a lot of people look at my social media and they're like, "Oh my god, you're a parry animal. You're always doing something. You're always in an event. You're always." I'm boring. I have my regular Monday through Friday job, and then I come home to sleep, sleep, and put up furniture, put together furniture, and have fun and eat. That's it. Oh, I love it.
That's so interesting because again, I'm having Barbie sub on Thursday.
Mhm.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Nice.
And then I'm having Robin Coffins on and her wife on Saturday, September 7th.
Mm.
That's gonna be amazing. If you haven't seen Erotica Vampire like TS2, oh my
I have
god.
not.
It's something else. Um, Robin owes me a favor though, so that's why she's doing it. We're gonna have a good time though. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be a wild one.
Mhm.
I haven't even started writing it yet. Um, I don't. It's gonna get me a strike on YouTube, that interview, without a doubt. Um,
Strike 2.
no, I don't have a strike yet. I have a warning, and Savannah
Oh,
Fox got me the first warning, and then Sasha Nakamoto got me my second,
yeah.
which was ridiculous. She's talking about
How?
skateboards, and then like they just didn't like the link I used for her, which
Mm.
I was like, or they didn't use
The
like YouTube
link.
is or like a link or a hashtag. Like they don't like certain hashtags. It's
Hmm.
annoying that they
Just
don't
little
like.
things. Hmm.
It's terrible. But I have a warning. I'm expecting a strike with Robin and Sabrina Havoc. So I'm expecting that, but it's gonna be wild. Um, but for that interview, it's gonna be a runaway interview. I know exactly what it's gonna do in like 3 months from now. Um, but what Bella Rockefeller was a runaway interview too, and Bella Madison was crazy too. That thing went off the charts. My clip from Bella Madison, and she fights for LLC, has like 16,000 views,
Hmm.
and it all came like last month.
Wow.
Like it was published in January, and then nobody looked at it, and then like all of a sudden it's got 16,000 views.
Out
I'm
of
like,
nowhere.
I didn't even pay attention. I'm like, oh wow, I'm really up this month. I wonder what it's gonna be like next month. I mean, I think it's gonna cool down, but it might not. It might not.
Mm-mm. You never know.
But I digress. But no, that's so interesting. But like, yeah, but it must feel good to be their mascot though.
Yeah, I know. It's so much fun. I actually never thought I'd be doing this. It was fun.
So that's interesting, right? I mean, so did they approach you or you approached them, or was it just that you were just
No, they
there?
approached me so I could build the the artwork that they have made of the mascot, because the costume was not made. It was just the artwork, and they were like, "Can you make this?" I was like, "Yeah, of course." And initially, I was hired to make it for somebody to wear, and then they're like, "Yeah," because I guess they thought I wasn't gonna be willing to wear it because of it being 21 and up and whatnot, and then the more we talked about them, they were like, I mean, we would love for you to do it, but we don't know if you would even be open to the opportunity." And I was like, "Heck yeah, let's do it."
Right?
That's how I
It's
ended up
interesting,
joining.
right? That's fascinating because it's interesting when somebody says, "Hey, I get that we're entering complicated territory," right? Because once
Yeah.
you go adult and you do certain
Yep.
things, I don't wanna say you can't go back, but it's also hard to go back sometimes. And you gotta know where the lines are, right? Because
Mhm.
once you go and do something, you can't undo it, for lack of a better word. And then
Right.
secondly, I mean, this is the whole thing. There's a reason why my job doesn't know I do my show. I shut up at
Mhm.
my day job because God
Right.
forbid I don't want my boss or his boss or somebody else be like, "Hey, Andrew, you went to the porn star last night. What was up with that?" Like, I don't want that. Like, it was, it was one thing. But I
Oh,
was, no,
that's
yeah,
so
I
funny.
really don't want to have to go to HR and be like,
Well, I was just interviewing.
"Hey, your YouTube channel was really good with Brian Donovan over there, but that Savannah Fox thing, man, like what the fuck, bro? Like, I don't want that
Mhm.
conversation with HR." And
You're like, "Not anytime soon, please."
I would still like to have my regular shoot job. Um, it's a good job. I'm in 1 day a week, and then I work the other 4 from home.
Nice.
And it's nice
That
because I
sounds
go in on
great.
a Monday. So once Monday's over, I have 4 days at home, and I work longer at home than I work at my job.
Mhm.
But it's structured differently. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, take an hour and a half lunch, it's great.
You're like, "I love this."
I watch some anime during lunchtime. Maybe,
Mhm.
I run out, grab some Starbucks. Get
Yeah.
my nice cold brew. No, guys, I don't get a cold brew. I get a caramel frappuccino.
Aw.
But no, that's so interesting. It's so interesting, but I digress. But I do wanna back out of this stuff, and I wanna talk about more general stuff with you because obviously you are heavy in the con scene. I
Mhm.
haven't been to a con in 6 years.
Oof.
And I had a horrible experience legitly a few months before COVID hit. I then said, "I don't wanna do this anymore because I was just treated
Mhm.
horribly." As a free speaker I was just treated badly, and it irked me when I was spending a lot of money to be someplace, speaking for free, and you couldn't even put me on the website. Like, you couldn't
Mm.
put my channel on the website. Like, that's what irked me. It's the little things that piss me off.
Mhm.
Then COVID hit, the cons I was supposed to go to weren't around, and then I said, "I don't miss this. I don't miss it." Because why would I wanna be at a con where I can
Mhm.
only reach those people when I could legitly get the exact same reaction by interviewing people? And I was already interviewing people, and then I just turned it up to an 11. And I have more reach than I've ever had before. I have more freedom.
Mhm.
I'm more productive than I've ever been, and I'm helping more people. I wasn't
Mhm.
helping anybody by presenting a panel at a con, and here I
Right.
can help people get media, and
Mhm.
so I'd rather focus my energy here. But that leads me to my question: is that like, what does the con scene look like? Because I have no idea what it looks like.
Well, it's saturated, very, very saturated. There's a lot of conventions versus before for the city. At least here in San Antonio, there used to be one big convention every year. Now there's a convention or two each month, every other week.
But let me ask
It's
this: do you think that's good or bad? Because just on economics, I mean,
Yeah, I think
you
it
could.
could go both ways. Because again, people go to the conventions that they're most interested on. Right now, the good thing about having different conventions is that there's different focuses. Like there's a convention just for trading card games. There's a convention that focuses on wrestlers. There's a convention that's more anime. There's a convention that's more Marvel, DC. There's
So
nostalgia.
let me ask
So
let me ask this because I have an opinion on all this. So obviously my show, I've interviewed wrestlers, people
Mhm.
in comic, cosplayers, voice actors, authors, adult people in the adult industry. I've interviewed crypto experts. So like I've run the gambit. And what I figured out is that people are no longer just an anime fan. They're a comic
Mhm.
fan, they're a wrestling fan. And
Right.
when I last went to conventions and I look at convention stuff, so I see that wrestlers are there, I see that voice actors are there, I see comic people are there.
Mhm. There's a little bit of everything.
And so, I mean, if you have a bunch of cons, I mean, I get that it could be good because if you want to be niche focused, that makes
Mhm.
sense. There's also a situation where I'm like, you could
But then
expand.
there's also the money. Yeah, because I mean, if people wanna go to several conventions, they can't really go to them. And then the vendors sometimes they can't afford to make all of the tables and meet the fees, especially if people are not coming to the cons. Like one convention might be really good profit, and then you never know if the second convention nobody's showing up because they all blew up their money on the convention last week. So it's a gamble to play, absolutely.
Did you also feel that because well, even to go even a little bit more micro, you also feel that cons to some degree as well have become very saturated inside the con? Meaning that, vendors are really competing with each other. Do you also feel that celebrities are competing with each other to some degree? That there's also a divide? Because I don't like, I mean, I used to be in DC, I'm in Connecticut, and Awesome Con, when I was in
Yeah.
DC, there were people there specifically for comics. There was people there specifically for voice actors. There's people there specifically for celebrities. Because you had like
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy there. You had Dave Batista. Yeah, I forget who played Mantis. You had a few other people, but then like they had like one year like Cobra Kai. They had Ralph Macchio, William Ziva, Martin Groove, I think, plays Crease.
Yeah.
But like there gets a point where I also think that there is massive division in all of this right now. I mean, that's
Mhm.
just my take. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, if you think I'm wrong, please feel free to tell me I'm wrong. But like I'm curious how you view it because you're there and I'm not. And I haven't been there in a while.
Right.
Years now.
Ah, it depends. I, uh, I feel like they could do some good because, like, there's a convention here that geared their focus towards just celebrities and just like, let's say, vehicles. Like, they have really nice vehicles, like the Ghostbusters car, the Mystery Machine. They have the Batmobile, and it's awesome to see those focuses. But like I was saying before, especially depending on how expensive it is to go to certain cons, because there's some free cons here and there, mainly geared towards kids, but there's a lot of cost that goes into conventions, especially if people are traveling. There's hotel costs, there's the food, the food is not cheap at the conventions either. And then if they're coming to actually buy stuff like collectibles or do celebrity stuff, photo ops, signatures, all of that costs money and it adds up. So people can only do so much. And usually whenever it was one con at a year, you could plan for that and save up and have all this money ready to go and set aside towards that convention. You know what I mean?
So
It's like, "Oh my god, there's a guest here that I wanna see, but then there's another guest that I wanna see this month, and then this other guest is next month."
when I
So,
was in
yeah.
DC, there was 2 cons I did. So I did Awesome Con, which was in May, April, May, and then I did Otakon. Otakon was cheaper
Yes.
because it was an anime con.
Wow.
So
Mhm.
anime cons tend to be cheaper than Comic Con or any pop culture con.
Yeah.
I've said this and I've said it and I'll stick with it. It might even be more. You need a grand to have a really good time at a pop culture or Comic Con. If you have $100 at Otakon, you could have a blast for $100.
Mhm.
You could have a great time for $100, and you might even go home with 40 or $50 still in your wallet. But also that's changed massively. Used to be a lot
Yeah.
of voice actors would sign for free at anime cons. That's no longer the thing anymore. And it's getting crazy. And that's why it's like I'm looking at this and I'm like, I think people should be charging with what they can get away with, and people should be paid what they're worth. But I also think, like, I just paid 60, 70, $80 for a ticket. Like, you gotta throw me at least a bone.
Something. Discount, please.
Yeah. I mean, if you're there was a con I was thinking about going to, where I live, and it's local, and, like, a voice actor was, like, $60, and I'm like,
Mm,
I'm not gonna say who it was, but it was from one of the big, 3 or 4 shows, and I'm like, "The ticket's $35 already, like, you're charging me
mhm,
for to go get your autograph on a trading card or a Pop Funko or an 11 by 10 or a 7 by 11, whatever it is. I mean, it's $100, and that's me in
mm,
the door and your autograph. Like, you gotta be
yeah,
correct. Like $100 is a lot of money right now.
mm,
So I'm curious what you think because you're on the other side of this. I mean, you are completely on the other side of this. I'm a consumer, right?
right.
Like you're at a
No, but I see it both ways too. Because even as a guest, sometimes I wanna get merchandise and sometimes I wanna get celebrity interaction too, so it's affecting everybody the same.
no, because the reason why I bring it up is that as a guest, obviously, you're there and you wanna make money, but there is a sweet spot
Mhm,
of what people can afford. And this is why I think it's so interesting, and I think this is one of the things that's being missed right now in the whole guest situation and signature game is that what is the sweet spot where everybody can afford something, but also you
right,
can make your money back, or you're also protecting your worth because if you sign something or a comic artist signs something, it obviously could increase a value. And so
right,
I'm not saying somebody should give something away for free, but there also should be a position where like you're charging me $100, like I just paid $80 to be here. Like,
mhm.
so I mean, I'm just curious what you think, because I don't
I
get
mean,
that.
it can go both ways too, because depending on how they wanna advertise it, they can make a comp free entry and then you pay for the celebrity stuff, or you could pay for whatever. But,
I would
I know that
love
with
that. I would love that.
right. So, or you could go the complete opposite way. You charge a higher price of admission, and then you get everything inside as far as celebrity signatures. Or, I've seen before where they do tickets. So, like when you come in, you get a ticket. You get to take one signature and a photo, and then if you want anything additional from that, you could pay for it. I mean, those are things that could be established, but it'd be up to the convention owners.
Again, I mean, I have insight into how this all works. I wrote an article on my website about this,
Hmm.
how your ticket is broken down. Nobody's
Yeah.
read it. Nobody's read it. Nobody's read it.
Wow.
Like 0 people have read that article. It's a well thought out article, and basically your
Mhm.
ticket's broken down into 6 or 7 categories. Everybody is broken down into covering the venue, covering the staff, both paid and unpaid, T-shirts, hotel rooms, vouchers,
Mhm.
all that stuff. It's then also covered into guarantees in the event that a guest doesn't sell out or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's something that is relevant. Where if you guarantee somebody 50 grand and they only sell 45, the client has to make up that guarantee. What they guaranteed on an autograph, every autograph a celebrity sells counts
Mhm.
as a guarantee. So they know they're making. Otherwise, they wouldn't show up. They wouldn't show up.
Right.
If you're worth $30,000, and you fly in, that's 4 days that you're not doing something else. So you better be
Mhm.
paid nicely for it. Uh,
Yeah.
and then there's insurance. There's also a whole bunch of app stuff. There's setting up the website, processing payment processors, all sorts of stuff. And nobody's read my article. So basically, but it's important to understand where your ticket goes. If you're a fan, it's really important to understand what you're paying for.
Mhm.
So, but I digress. We all know how I feel about celebrities and cons now. I'm just saying, just throw me a bone, everybody. Just throw me a bone when I'm paying 60, 70, $80. I just don't want to be completely shanked the second I get in and be like, $100 for an autograph. But like, dude, you had one line in Pokemon. $200 for an autograph. Like, I mean, let me put it this way: if you have 2 lines, if you have a whole episode in Pokemon, I'll pay 50. But if you have like 2 words in Pokemon, like, I mean, maybe $5, maybe. Like, but that's all I'm saying is that you got to have at least a full episode of Pokemon to charge $50 for an autograph,
Mhm.
at least. But I digress. But I do want to give you a chance to promote yourself now that I ruined your complete opportunity to guest at a con. And then people are gonna look at this and be like, yeah. So where can people find you, bother you, hit you up, check you out?
I have,
Be
my
careful not to
website.
get a strike. Please be careful not to get
Huh?
me a strike.
Oh, absolutely not. So I have my website, paradoxcosplay.com, and you can find all my social media links there. But they're all basically Paradox Cosplay ever, all over the place. When you go on Instagram, it's Paradox with 2 X's cosplay. That's the only one that doesn't match the rest because they closed the old one. So I had to make a new one. If they close this one, it's gonna get 3 X's. So you've been warned.
There's so many jokes I can make.
Ha!
So many jokes
Jokes.
I can make. But again, I'm in a warning on YouTube, so I can't make those jokes.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
make the jokes. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
it's terrible. Um, but yeah. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And then as far as I'm concerned, and I'm gonna keep saying is that you got to support people that you want to see their stuff get made, content get made. Um, and that includes a variety of ways how to do it. Obviously, one of the ways to do it is supporting people at conventions. If they have merch that they're selling, buy their merch, support them that way. They got PayPal, Cash App, everything that they got going on. That's one way how to
Mhm.
do it. Also, following them on social media is a big deal. It's a big deal. Following on the X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Um, I don't know what else there is in social media. At this point, I don't know. But those are the main five, I think.
Yeah.
So that's a big deal. And a social media follow is free. It's free, guys. Doesn't cost you a penny to
Mhm.
like somebody's X post or their Instagram post or give their page a follow. It's free. So go do that. And as far as I'm concerned, everything that I got going on, I am Pop Anime Comics on Twitter, now known as X. I am Pop Anime Comics on Facebook. I am Pop Anime Comics on the Instagram. If you would like, you could join my Facebook group, Indie Comic Connect. We have a lot of fun there, and you can promote your comic book or really any other pop culture thing. It's a private group, but we got like 500 members. It's a lot of fun. And I just don't post porn in my group, and we're good. Um, that's a yo. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
Really? Huh.
Nobody tries to do it, but if your cover, you don't put like a cover that has like the bars on it and censored. Just put the nice cover up
Mhm.
there. We're gonna get the job done, guys. People are still gonna click. Just I can't say it enough. I don't want to give Facebook a reason. I don't. Um, there's plenty of things they can knock me for, and I don't want to invite them to do it. But seriously, you can join my Facebook group. It's Indie Comic Connect. We accept a lot of people just to answer the questions. They're there for a reason. And then as far as everything else goes, I have an eBay store right here. Look for comics and collectibles. Come shop with us on eBay at Pop Anime Comics Collectibles, and we sell really cool stuff. So we sell stuff like this in my store. You can't see me because I can't see you. It is a farewell tour. We have 12 months left of John Cena, everybody. We have 12 months, and I got 10 of them. I got 10 of these to sell in those 12 months. I think we can do it. I also sell things like this in comic books, which are really cool. I have all 15 of those in hollow foil. I have all 15 of these in hollow foil. Yeah, I brought out the print run, everybody. And then I also bring stuff like this into my store, which is really cool. And stuff like this is always fun to bring in. I sell rare baseball cards like this as well. So that is fun. And I sell cool stuff like this. I actually am out of these. These sold for like 140 a pop. This
Mm.
sold for like 130 that I'm out of, but I have more for you to buy in my store, and you never know what's gonna come. And I do have a one-on-one Viper in my store right now of Tina Charles. It's an expensive car. I'm asking 250 bucks for it for a reason. And I have some Aaron Judge stuff in my store right now that also sold out. So again, I'm asking like 500 for my Aaron Judge stuff. It's worth it. It's worth it. Um, so yeah, I carry expensive merch, but I also carry like $7 cards too. So, there's something for everybody in my eBay store, and it's the best way to support me and my business. And if you're looking for rare comic collectibles, I got you covered. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If I do not have something you are looking for, chances are I know somebody who does, and I'm more than happy to put you in contact because I get it as a collector that things are hard to track down sometimes. So that's everything that I got going on. And on that note, I'm going to give you the final word.
Well, thank you so much for coming to see the TED Talk with pop culture, and I hope you guys liked everything we talked about.
I don't think I could have said that any better myself, everybody. That is